Hey everyone, this is Steffi with CreativePro, and today I want to show you how to do some cool text effects that you can do natively in PowerPoint that you may not think you can. Today's example is this hello dribbble. Now we're not going to get to exactly this, but we can get fairly close, right? So I have hello in a box and I have dribbble in a box. So let's just start with hello. So with that box selected, if you don't have the format pane open already, you can right click on it and choose Format Shape. Now it's important to know that when we are talking about formatting the text and not the box it's in, when Format Shape opens, the first thing to do is make sure that Text Options is selected. Otherwise, we're going to be styling the box and not the text. Okay, so let's go for this gradient fill first. With that selected, we'll go here to text fill and choose gradient fill. Now you're going to see magically it kind of gets there already because the last gradient you've done is saved in that gradient stops area down here. Now it's not quite right. Let's go through how we work with these gradient stops real quick. If I have too many, that's fine. I can click on one and drag it off and it goes away. If I want another one, you can either use these buttons over here or I can just click right on the gradient. Okay, and what angle are we going at? I'm going to go for this linear down gradient here just to kind of set the stage. It's the closest to what's over here. If I take that and I drag it, okay, so if this is changing the top, then the left is the top and the right is the bottom. So the left is the top, I want it softer. The right is the bottom. I want it a little more delineated, I suppose, is the word I'm going for here. So let me get rid of that stop and do that. Now, I still don't see it within the text, so I'm just going to have to start dragging things closer to the center. And here we go. Now we have got a softer gradient up top and a harsher one down here at the bottom. Okay, we have our gradient. Awesome. Next is an outline, right? Collapse that, and down here under text outline, we have an outline and it looks like we have like this shadowy thing going. So let's do solid line. Let's make that line black. Okay, awesome. I'm going to make it a little thicker. Let's zoom in here. So we have this first line, but then we have this shadow, and it's a really hard shadow. So to do that, while we are still in text options, go to text effects, which is this middle icon right here. Click on that. And in shadow, let's just choose a preset right now of this guy right here, because the shadow over here is going directly to the right. So that's what this one does. We'll start with that as a base point, but it's super, super soft and it's super transparent. So first, we don't want it to be transparent at all. So transparency should be 0. We don't want to blur. We want it nice and hard. There we go. Blur is 0. You can play around with the angle. This I feel fits pretty well. And then you can play with the distance. It does look a little thick, so I'll knock it down to 2. And I'm pretty satisfied with that. The word hello on the left is kerned really tightly. For kerning in PowerPoint, it's called character spacing. So we come up to the Home tab. We have this character spacing button in the font area. We can click and we can choose any of these here. If you hover over, you can see the effect they have. I want it really tight, so let's go to more spacing. And we'll make it condensed. And we'll make it by 10 points. And say, okay, all right, that's good enough. Now my baseline is pretty flat. It's just a line of text. I kind of want this undulating, weird, not strict baseline. And some people might think they'd have to go in and make a subscript or a superscript or something. But this is actually where, get this, text effects will work for you. So with that text box selected, go to, up in the ribbon, Shape Format, and then we're going to choose Text Effects. And we'll go down to 3D transform. And we have all kinds of weird stuff, right? So as I hover over them, you're going to, okay, that one's fun. You'll see all different types of things happening. And this one here almost feels like exactly what I want. It's called wave down. So I'll select that. It is a bit extreme, but you'll notice here we have handles, these little yellow dots that we can grab, and we can move those to lessen the effect, and we can, bring it this way or that way. I don't like that. Let's undo that. But it's just so very subtle. So I'm going to make it almost so it's flat. There we go. Okay, so that's hello. And now you'll see that I've done all that. My gradient is completely different than how we had it before. So we'll go back to text options, go down to the fill for text fill. And now we need to adjust those colors again because for some reason, the stops decided to move a little bit. All right. And there we go. Okay, let's take Dribbable. We're going to do the same thing. Make sure when you have that text box selected over here in Format Shape, you have text options selected and not shape options. So for this, well, let's give it a solid fill, and it's a red color. So we'll go to red. Okay, we've got the red. We need one original solid line. So the first outline is pretty basic. So we'll give it a solid outline. Let me make that red a little lighter. There we go. Okay, now we have this solid outline. It is black, just like over here. And I like that width. We have the single outline. Now we go to shadows. So text options to the text effects, and we're going to choose shadow again. This time we'll go angle it because I think over on the left it was slightly angled down and to the right. Our transparency is going to be 0 again. Our blur will go down to 0 as well. I dig the angle. The size is at 100%. That's how I want it. Distance, let's make it a little closer to the text. So far we've done the same thing that we did to hello to dribble. This is where the glow is going to come in. The glow is going to come in between the outline of the text and the shadow we just set. So it's going to give the appearance of a double outline, at least when we're at regular zoom levels, not when we're zoomed way in. So let's set this up. Preset for glow. Let's do, I don't know, we'll just start here. Glow 8 point. Doesn't matter what color because we're going to change it. We're going to change the glow color to white. We're going to make it 0% transparent. And we're going to make the size, let's bring it down to 2. Okay, now it looks blurry because I am zoomed way in. But what happens if we go out? Here we go. Now it looks like we have a double outline. And from here, you can still play around with that shadow to see if that shadow is too far away under text options. Maybe bring that in. So now it looks like we actually have a double outline on our text. And then again, with this one, we can change the text effect shape thing that I talked about before. So with this text box selected, we'll go back up to shape format, go into text effects, and I think under transform, I kind of want one that's sort of wavy. We're just going to go basic here. So double wave down up. Let's do that. And then we can play with what we have here and see what we actually like. Again, this one's pretty subtle. We'll kind of bring it in that way a little bit. And there we go. So make sure you're playing in PowerPoint. When you see something cool, don't think you automatically that you cannot do it. There is a chance that you can get most of the way there. Hope this helps.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. And for thousands more how-to articles and tutorials, visit our website, creativepro.com, and become a member today. Thanks for learning with us.